So let's read this problem. It says, which points are on the graph of the equation negative 3x plus 6y plus 5 equals negative 7? Now, one thing you could do to do this problem is you could get this graph right here in slope-intercept form, this equation, and you could graph it, and then see which of these points fall on the graph, right? And y'all know how to do that. Slope-intercept form is y by itself, isn't it? But let me show you a different way. Okay, let's say I have the point 0, 0. Okay, now that point is saying that x equals 0 and y equals what?
0.
Now, if I were to take the 0 and plug it in for x here, and the 0 and plug it in for y here, once I plug the numbers in, if the left side of the equal sign is the same as the right side, in other words, when I plug a 0 here and a 0 here, if what's left on the left is a set negative 7, just like what's on the right, then it's a point on the line. Did you hear what I said? So let's see if 0, 0 is on the line. Did you hear me? Let's see if what?
0, 0.
Okay, so let's plug those in. All right, so let's say, all right, and you should be writing something down. You shouldn't be sitting there with your arms crossed. So I've got negative 3 times 0 plus 6 times 0 plus 5 has to equal negative 7. Well, what's negative 3 times 0?
0.
And what's 6 times 0?
0.
Plus 5. So all this has to equal negative 7. Well, what's 0 plus 0 plus 5?
5.
Does 5 equal negative 7?
Negative.
It does not. That's why I put a line through the equal sign. And so 0, 0 is not a point on the graph. Did you hear what I said? And so that's how you do all of them. You'd have to do all 5 of them that way. Right? So let's do that. So let's plug in the point negative 3, 6 right here. Okay? So where am I plugging negative 3? In for x. And where am I plugging 6? In for y. So let's do that. So I'm going to do it right over here. So I've got negative 3 times negative 3 plus 6 times 6 has to equal negative 7. Right? Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Plus 6 times 6 is 36. And I can already tell that's not going to be negative 7, right? 9 plus 36 is 45. Does 45 equal negative 7?
Negative.
It does not. And so A is not a choice. Now notice in the problem it says select all that what? All right, so A doesn't apply, but we got to see if B, C, D. And look, let's say B works. Do I just stop and say the answer is B?
No.
I got to check them all, don't I? Okay. Okay, so let's test B. So on B, what does X equal? On B, what does X equal? Negative 2. And what does Y equal? 0. And so I'm going to plug negative 2 in for X and 0 in for Y. So I have negative 3 times negative 2 plus 6 times 0 plus 5. And when I add all that up, it must equal negative 7, right? Well, this is 6 plus 0 plus 5. That's 11. Has to equal negative 7. Well, it doesn't, does it? And so I know B is incorrect. Right? B is not on the line. Let's try C. On C, what does X equal? 0. And what does Y equal? Okay, let's try it. So I've got negative 3 times what? 0 plus 6 times negative 2 plus 5 must equal negative 7. Well, this is 0 plus negative 12 plus 5 must equal negative 7. Well, negative 12 plus 5 does equal negative 7, right? So is that a true statement?
Yes.
So C, that point, 0, negative 2, that's on the line. Well, since 0, negative 2 is on the line, what does that also tell you? what is the point 0, -2? If I drew a coordinate plane, the point 0, -2 is like right here, right? And so 0, -2 being on the graph of the line, what does it tell you? The red dot right here is on the what? And so we know 0, -2 is the y-intercept. Say it. Ooh, man. So on D, what does x equal? 6. And what does y equal? So now let's plug those in, right? So I've got -3 times 6 plus 6 times -3 plus 5 must equal -7, right? So this is -18 plus -18 plus 5 must equal -7. Well, you ought to be able to tell that's not gonna. This is -36 plus 5 is -31. Does not equal -7, does it? So D is not on the line. Did y'all know that you could test whether something was on a point was on the line this way? Just plug in X, plug in Y. It has to be a true statement, right? Let's do our last one. On E, what does X equal?
8.
And what does Y equal?
2.
So let's plug them in. -3 times 8 plus 6 times 2 must equal -7. Y'all should be writing. John, you should be writing instead of just sitting there with your hand in your pocket. Okay, so I've got -24 plus 12 must equal -7. Oh, yeah, plus 5. Sorry, plus 5. Plus 5. I left out the plus 5 right here. And so that's -12 plus 5 has to equal -7. Well, -12 plus 5 does equal -7, doesn't it? Huh? And so I have a true statement here, don't I? Because I have on the left -7 and on the right -7. And are they equal? They are. And so E is also on the line. So we had 2 points. So if I were to put that in the clicker, I would put C and what?
E.
No commas or anything like that. You got to put it in alphabetical order.